Jeremy Crawford, Assistant Director of Athletic Communications here at CUW, here with CUW softball head coach Steve Crook. First off, coach, how are you feeling?
I'm good, Jeremy. How are you?
Good. It's weird not being here on campus right now and in the heart of softball season, but I know that you feel the same way.
It has been very difficult. Every time I get an email reminder or I look at a schedule, my heart sinks a little bit, to be perfectly honest with you. And I still look at the weather like we're playing. So today would not be great weather to be playing softball in Wisconsin.
No, I just looked out the window a few minutes ago. It was snowing here in Michigan, but now the sun is out. But can you talk a little bit what it's like going through this situation as a coach that was in season when this all went down?
Those are some of the most difficult questions to answer because most days you're going on and thinking about everything that's going on in the world. But then when you talk to one of your players or you think about a senior or you think about a big game or a point where you're at in the season or read one of your stories online, there is a definite emotion that just overcomes. The reality of it is difficult in so many ways. And you and I have talked about it, thinking about what that means emotionally for this team who put in all that work. And then the day before you were really going to reap the benefits of one of those big trips in Florida, it started to unravel and unraveled very quickly.
Yeah, I know you and I talked about that trip to Florida, but can you talk about the beginning of the year 4-0 record, 5-0 with the reserve roster? Things were looking good. Things were seeming to click for the team.
First of all, I want to tell you thank you for mentioning 5-0 because we're one team with two schedules. Those kids practice just as hard as anybody. And every time we talk about it, we talk about 5-0. And that was a great weekend. We saw the progress that we wanted to see. We were seeing reaping the hard work and the commitment of not just the season, but upperclassmen putting in 2, 3, and 4 years. We played a schedule that maybe we feel like was favorable early, but there are two teams in that mix that would sneak up on people throughout this season, and maybe even three. And then so you look at that as your big first step, and we break our season down into those small chunks. We felt like we were checking boxes and moving forward and saying, okay, we're doing the things we need to do. We see the room for improvement, but it was really definitely a benchmark of where we were hoping to be.
Talking about a little bit of the success that you had in those first 5 games. Talk about what your seniors have meant to this program. I know that it wasn't the fitting end that any of them deserve, but can you talk a little bit about what those seniors meant to you and the CUW softball program as a whole?
We talk about as coaches building culture. It's sometimes we overuse phrases: family, culture, commitment. But when you see it. You can talk about it, but you can see it and you can feel it. And you could feel it on our team. You could feel it in the way we went about our business on a bad day. You could hear it on the good days. And what I appreciate most about what our seniors and upperclassmen do for us every day is they remind our team, especially maybe our freshmen, what it means to be part of a successful program. And a successful program is this. It's working hard no matter what. You get a mosquito there?
No, there was a spider that was crawling out. I saw something itchy, and then I saw on the camera that
there's the blooper for next year, Jeremy.
Yep.
I was trying to maintain a straight face just because when you think about seniors, there's a strong emotion. The time you put in it, and then when you see them giving back, and you see them doing things that lead those freshmen and those sophomores start to become leaders because of what they're seeing in our upperclassmen. That's the greatest reward as a coach. It's right up there next to winning. It really is.
I'm talking winning last year, and that's one of the more sad things about the season not getting played. 2019, a 24-11 record and a regular season title. How do you feel the team was rolling in from that 2019 season with also a little bit of a chip on their shoulder after what happened in the NAC tournament?
Well, I'll tell you that they had higher expectations. The conversations that I had with our leadership group was, hey, we're not settling. We're in this thing for the next step, the next level. Um, Success gives you confidence. Success gives a coach credibility in saying things like, "Hey, we've got to do this. That spider coming back. That spider coming back. Take it. Get rid of the spider, Jeremy." Uh, but it gives players confidence. It gives confidence in each other. It gives confidence in what the coaching staff is trying to do, and then it helps you take it to the next level. It's the confidence when you're losing a close game or playing a tough game that you've been there before. The confidence that your coaches have put you in the right situation during the week, and there's so much to be said for the mental part of this game.
So last year it was a magical season as a whole for the program. When did you start to think that this could be a special team?
I think that you build that every year and you believe that every year, but you see key positions rise up. But I always say this, if you look at our seniors, um, all of them, minus Sammy, have done different things for the program at different times. And Sammy came in later, so there was an evolving part to that group in terms of where they played and what they did and whether they were pitching or playing a position or in the infield, moving to outfield. Um, when you see players do that with the right attitude, you know that you can do it, because playing multiple positions in our game is a really valuable thing. And talking with other programs who've been successful at even other levels, they talk about that ability for players to move the infield and outfield. Increases the knowledge of the game. I think our kids took that with really broad shoulders. They took it, used all the knowledge that they got, and quite honestly, those are things that you see that are special.
Well, that's cool. This is obviously new territory for everyone involved. This coronavirus really done to change how you approached it, like today? Like, what are you up to now?
Yeah, well, I mean, look, I have put away for the most part of wearing anything softball related. It's still, you go back to one of your first questions. It's still very hard most days. And then trying to move on. We're trying to motivate our players online. We've got a Google Doc or Google Sheet where we're exchanging workouts and motivating each other with their workouts, and they're signing in as a journal. And we're having a team meeting with some information, but some fun stuff as much best you can. And the one thing I've learned is that even seeing them just online or virtually has really been it's been really a good thing for me. And I was shocked at the end of an hour meeting with our freshmen online that they said, "Coach, when are we meeting again?" And I thought, well, that's a great thing to hear. So trying to fill it purposefully and stay in touch with our players as best we can, and doing all kinds of things to do that, because as any coach will tell you, X's and O's are fun, strategy's great, love it, love the planning, love much of the grind, but we love our opportunity with good kids and good people and building a great team.
So during this corona-ness, what has been the most fun thing that you personally have done with the team, do you feel?
Well, I think that's to come, and it's a surprise, so we're not going to tell yet. So we're working on something. They have done a video. We're going to challenge them to do another video as a team, and so that's the stuff I think that they look forward to. And they're friends. They're staying in touch with each other, but there'll be some funny stuff. We got a coaches meeting tomorrow night. We're putting together a game that we're going to play, and some of it will be at the coach's peril. We'll make a little fun of ourselves, and that's all good. And hopefully we'll have some fun with that.
So you and I have been a part of a softball chain video that we've been working on.
Yep.
You've talked about how your athletes do well on the softball field. How would you grade their acting so far?
Well, I'll tell you that dietarily we need to have a conversation. They'll all get a giggle out of that. But there were a few that really surprised me. Some of the use of the bats, and Kristen and Gabby and a few others. There was some pretty cool stuff in there. But acting wise, I'm just going to hope and pray that they all finish their degree and get some really good jobs ahead of them that aren't necessarily in the acting field. So I think that they've been funny, but I think they've got better careers ahead.
So you talked a little bit about the dietary issues that you saw. I think we saw some pizza involved. We saw some I think burgers as well. What has been your go-to food for this little break?
Oh gosh, I'm a good old Wisconsin boy, so there's lots of cheese right now. So I do enjoy having myself some summer sausages and some cheese. And unfortunately, because we're not getting a chance to go out a whole lot, there's been a lot of frozen pizzas as well. But I've been doing the cooking in the house, and so there's been some good stuff on the grill. My go-to is chicken brats on the grill.
Okay.
I've been making some really good breakfast, so I made some homemade egg dishes the other morning with a little bit of corned beef, so it was pretty good.
So talking of the little frozen pizza, that was a staple for us when we went to Florida. How would you compare your frozen pizza to Mitch's frozen pizza?
Well, let's just say if you're going to the deli, don't get the same meat Mitch gets because it's not really in the meat category. So we'll stay away from the meat of what Mitch chooses, but it's very healthy, I'm sure. So.
So have you been doing anything fun to pass that time? I know you're busy trying to get some new Falcons into CUW, but
Yeah.
have you been doing anything fun outside, like any house projects or anything to keep you busy?
We got a couple of board games that we've been playing a lot of. I played an all-day Monopoly game with my son and my daughter, and I was kicking butt early, but I bought too many properties and ultimately went bankrupt first. So I've heard about that all week. Um,
Did you win last weekend? Because I know I called you last week in a game of a family Monopoly.
that was the long game, and I was kicking butt at the time, and I wound up losing. So no, I did not. If there's card games, I'm usually in the top group. I win the card games. Board games are not my thing, apparently. So, yeah.
What's the key card game in the Crook household?
Sheep set is the game that I like, and I'm pretty good at it. But there's what does it mean? Has been the game that we played a lot of, and I tend to I've won that the other night. So, card games. I don't know if you'd call it a card game, but a little bit of I think poker face plays off in that game.
So have you been communicating with your amazing assistants? I know that you have a handful of characters on the staff. How have they been doing through all this?
We've been talking quite a bit. We got a meeting tomorrow. I think everybody's feeling much the same way. Obviously Allison is graduating, moving on to athletic training, and Caitlin has graduated. And she's been interviewing, has kind of been put on halt with the circumstances that we're facing. Sam Schumacher is going to be going on to grad school at Palmer, and Maddie will be joining us as our graduate assistant next year. And so a lot of that transition with those guys moving on with school. But in terms of Coach Jeff and Coach Steele, I know Coach Jeff's really busy, but Coach Steele is spending a lot of time at home reading in his library. So we'll leave that at that. I know he's teaching, and as long as we're talking about that, I'm going to say take a few minutes to know that it's NCAA Division III week, and today is the day where we ask our team, our players, to thank their faculty members. It is a difficult job to teach online, and so special thanks to Dr. Steele, to all of our Concordia friends and colleagues and people who teach and are making this the best it can possibly be. And listening to other coaches and other colleagues, I think that we're in a pretty fortunate place with our version of our online and distance learning.
Well, thank you for joining us on this Meet the Falcons, Coach. It's always a pleasure to sit down and talk with you.
I thought for sure we were going to talk a little bit about like my favorite band, and I thought, Jeremy, can I turn this on you for a second? What have you been doing with your time? Because I know our team would really want to know.
Well, I've been doing a lot of work. There's still a lot of grinding. We're trying to boost the archives. I was challenged by one of our students in our office for one of those strength conditioning, so I pushed the Subaru down the driveway.
Nice. Where's the video? Is that online?
Yeah, it's on Twitter.
Okay, I got to get out there.
But I was getting a lot of grief from our students. The car turned out a lot lighter than I anticipated, so I was just pushing it right down the driveway, having no issues. But I guess the Swearvest community get away with anything. And so everyone's saying like, oh, it was in dry, going down a hill. It was a flat surface. Like,
wait, did you have the sweater vest on?
No Swearvest. I thought I'd only be here for 7 days, and so there's not really so there's not too much to go with. So,
what's the go-to meal?
We've been experimenting some new things here. Parents got an air fryer, so we tried some new air fried meals, but can't go wrong with pizza as well. But no, who is
And
your favorite
what's the
head
board
coach?
game of choice there, Jeremy?
We haven't really been playing board games. We've just kind of just watching TV and whatnot.
And what are you binge watching?
I've been watching some stuff on Amazon Prime, so
Okay.
a bike out there, put the iPad out in front of it, and then just ride and watch a show.
I did watch the, is it Tiger King? Did I get that right? And,
It is Tiger King.
And that the only reason that I watched that is because everybody's talking about it, but I give that 2 paws down. But
2 paws down.
yes, and I binge watched all the seasons of Ozark again, and that's the best show on TV.
So why are you giving the negative pause on the Tiger King?
Oh, what a waste of my time. That's all I'm saying. Like, oh my gosh. I actually know a bunch of people. We have family in Oklahoma.
Okay.
We actually went to that years and years ago. Went to, what would you call, a farm?
Yep.
So before it was considered to be sketchy. So, but I do think that she killed her husband. I don't know if I can say that online or not, but
I don't think we're gonna.
Nobody's gonna watch this.
Yeah.
Who are we kidding?
It's just you and me. Maybe Allison will make fun of us for watching it for a little bit.
Caitlin will definitely make fun of it. Allison will say something nice.
Yeah, she's a nice person.
All right, Jeremy. Well, hey, I'm sorry you're stuck in Michigan, but hang in there, okay?
You know, it's a great day. Sun's out. Wearing a sweater vest. You can't really complain.
It's good to talk to you.
All right. Thanks for joining us today, Coach.
See you, Jeremy.